Sorry for the delay, everyone. Um, I was. I'm still learning the software, so I'm a little bit preoccupied, a little bit delayed, just figuring out how to do things. My wife and I have been. My wife and I have been playing Sherlock Holmes game, and Uh, I've been recording that. Just our going through. We started on the beginning of it. She had played the newer version of it. Um, this newer Sherlock Holmes game. It's this Sherlock Holmes Cthulhu game actually. It's very interesting. We're both big fans of like Lovecraft mythos and Sherlock Holmes. I'm trying not to give out all the ums and likes. When I recorded the first one of these, I did that way too much. Um, there I go again. Yeah, it's going to be a work in progress. Just speaking while recording. Well, this is going to be speaking while watching myself record. This is going to be a bit of a test, just trying to keep myself in check, trying to develop the skills needed to do this longer term. Trying not to sound too much like a drag. Anyway, it's this Sherlock Holmes Cthulhu game that we got into recently. She played the latest version of it. It's very interesting. So she played. It's this designed by this Ukrainian group. Frogwares. Frogwares is what I call it. And they did a really good job. Just like I'd say more so with the newer game, even though the newer game is definitely more for girls, while the older one's more for boys. That's just kind of how it is. The newer one is appealing to more of like the Tumblr audience. It seems like it's more emotion heavy and it definitely is a bit looser on how much you actually have to know about the world. Like the original Sherlock Holmes Cthulhu game. It's called Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened. The original one, it seems to be very reliant on the player knowing how to find coordinates and how to knowing what countries' flags are which. Made for an audience that I think are more or less Gen Z, let me say. My wife and I are very Gen Z, so yeah, I mean we were in the kind of middle of it. So we learned how to do cursive, and we learned very basic skills in this regard just before it kind of went out the door. But we've been playing the older game because she hasn't seen that game. I am currently taking the wheel. She played the later game all the way through, and apparently they're different. So it's been quite fun seeing this older game, even though it's so jank. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been recording that. Hopefully that'll come up. So if you see something come up that's not Path of Exile, this is me and my wife goofing off, having fun. Um, yeah, no. Gosh, there I go again. I'm always doing the yeah. I'm so bad at it, and I know everybody is, but just the likes, the ums, the you knows. I do that so much. I watched. I said I watched a video. I watched a video. You know what? I think I'll just take my time. If I can't get to the word, what I'm going to do is I might just cut it. Or maybe I'll just keep it in. I watched. Who was it? It was. I've totally forgotten the YouTuber. But I watched a video by this guy, and he was talking about how. Oh, Joshua Strife. Joshua Strife. He was talking about how we use the likes and ums and all of those to fill the spaces. Uh, there I go. Holmes' crew canoe struck this land with the force of destiny. At his back, the greatest war hosted PoE history. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it becomes an this addiction. It becomes this addiction just trying to trying to get through a sentence. You rely on these filler words so heavily. I wish I could just get to the next word immediately. And that's going to take some practice. It's going to take some practice just to watch things monologue a bit, but really get my words right. Oh, I remember. This is where I fought. Yeah, the Fire Fury. This guy nearly killed me. Actually, I think Fire Fury did kill me. I had to come back. Oh God. Oh, this game's so hard. I'm remembering this game. Maybe I'm just sucking. I wouldn't put it past me to just be bad at it. I'm bad at so many games. But a lot playing games like getting your words right, it's a lot of practice. I should really start coming up with scripts, things to actually talk about while this game plays. But I think it's fine. Oh, I should thank everybody. I should thank everyone for joining up with the channel. I put out one video so far, and I got 6 whole likes and 3 whole subscribers. So honestly, thank you guys. I just put this out to see if I could and to get some practice. And it's going to be continuous practice. It's going to be practice speaking. It's going to be practice playing the game. I'm gonna suck at it. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna be here for the rough bits. I hope you like that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be really bad at talking. I'm gonna be really bad at playing this game. But hopefully over time, I turn into the kind of performer streamer that I want to be. But it's gonna be some practice. I can't imagine streaming and talking the way I do, where it's like I really have to, and I'm grateful to the first recording I did, because it really showed me how bad I am at it. I did a communications class when I was in college, and it was so hard. It was so difficult, man. I just could not stop myself. And it doesn't get any easier when I really like a topic, when I really enjoy a topic, let me say. Um, because when I really enjoy a topic, I am speeding through my words and I just add all of those fillers. I add all of those fillers, and man, it is so hard to break. All right, let me talk about something other than this. So, I think one thing you'll see when I put out the recordings of myself playing with my wife, you know, when we first met, when we first met in person, let me say, because that's a whole story. But we were doing long distance basically for the whole first part of our relationship. But when we met up in person, my sense of humor was so edgy, let's say. It was a very edgy sense of humor. And I was like, oh, this woman's she's going to cure me. She's going to be so put off by all of my Hitler jokes and my, oh, ha ha ha, this and that, the other thing. And I actually was a terrible influence on her. I was actually influencing her in the complete wrong direction. But you'll see when the recordings are out, she is she's constantly just tormenting me. But you know, that is the way when you're such good friends. She just she knows exactly what to say to get under my skin, and she knows she's getting under my skin. Uh, she does it anyway because she knows that I love her at the end of the day. Yeah, this is when I start. Yeah, I'm really like in this beginning part of the game because I know I have to go red with the gemstones. I know I have to go a bit more red, a little less like heavy on the red, middle on the green, light on the blue. Uh, I think I'm trying to figure out exactly how to build this thing because I think I'm not entirely armor. I'm a mixture of armor and evasion, if I'm remembering correctly. Well, anyway, this is gonna take quite a bit of time. Just I hope that this is chill. While I'm doing this, while I'm improving myself and sort of putting it out there, I hope it's at least a bit of a chill thing to watch. That would be my goal is almost like a chill streamer where I can just monologue. I can talk about things in life, ideas that I've had, philosophy or poetry or whatever. Yeah, maybe a little bit yeah, something interesting at the very least. Something interesting and relaxing, and people can just tune in and watch me run through this game like a complete moron, sucking at it. And I can just talk to you about what things are like, the state of the world. Maybe not even the state of the world. Maybe just little things, getting through college and exams, finding your job, finding your place in the world. I'll tell you, like, I used to think that it was a job that was going to fulfill me. I kind of bought into that mindset of, well, what am I gonna do for a living? Am I on the right path? Is this what I should be doing? Is this the thing that is going to fill that gap in me and is going to make me feel complete? I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, that thing's family. That thing was me finding my wife, because me finding her completely changed everything. It was like I kept trying to fill the void with all sorts of things, and the void is you want to have a wife and you want to have kids. And that's it. That's what I want to do in life, and everything is in service to that. If playing games got in the way of it, I would drop playing games in a heartbeat. Which you tell that to myself as a kid, I would never have. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna stop. Blah blah blah. If I had to, I would easily. That's not even a tough choice. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like we get sold a false bill of goods. Just you know how you serve the corporation, how you serve, and not even the corporation, it's the corporation or the government or any one of these things, as like they're gonna forget your name the second you're gone. How can you what is your place in the world relative to how well you serve them? And it's a bit of a meme where it's there's like the trad wife meme where it's like, oh, I'm not going to be a slave to my husband. Instead, I'll be a slave to my boss. Well, it's the same for men. It's literally no different. I mean, it is different to some degree. So it's different in the sense that as a man, I have to go out and I have to provide something. I have to be a useful partner to my wife. I have to provide something that shows her that I am there for her and I can provide for her, and she doesn't have to worry. She doesn't have to look over her shoulder all the time. That's really what it is to be a man. It's to make sure that your wife feels safe. And part of that is getting a job. But it doesn't matter what job. It literally doesn't. And that's the revelation I made. The revelation I made is that I could be doing anything, and I happened to pick a certain direction, which was good, and I'm doing pretty good at it. I've got all my exams done. The world is exactly the way it should be. I'm doing fine. But the point that I was making was that none of it matters. What my boss thinks of me, what my friends, what my friends think of me matters. But like what these people who come and drift in and out of my life, what they think doesn't matter as much as, is my relationship with my wife good? Is my do I have a good relationship with my kids? I wouldn't give any of that up. In fact, everything I do now is just how can I maximize the amount I can provide for my family while also being with my family and enjoying being with my family. And I do any of these gaming sessions. Like, part of the reason why it's taking so long is I don't do this during the day. I don't do this all the time. This is a sort of rare thing when it's the work's done, the the kids put to bed. You know, it's there as extra, and I hope that you enjoy it because I'm enjoying it. I love playing these kinds of games and talking about them, and yeah, gosh, talking is hard, dude. Talking is so hard. I can write quite a bit, but talking is freaking difficult. And what's worse is that I think after COVID specifically, my ability to talk definitely dwindled. Uh, I am so much worse at it than I used to be, and not to make too many excuses for myself, but I I remember there's a lot of like verbal tics and things like that I had that after COVID, I was locked up for like 2 years without seeing people. I was in a city where I didn't know anybody on top of that, and I went bonkers. I I couldn't communicate nearly as well as I could. It took me a while to get over that. Um, yeah, but it's nice. Life is good. All right, I don't know if this is gonna be absolute dog shit, but we'll see. All right, see you guys.